Hey folks, welcome back to what may be the last episode of the main story, or what might be edited into the last episode of the main story of Let's Play Ghost of Tsushima. On the Serious Gigi, the game seems to be quiet. Like, I'm hoping there's nothing wrong with the sound of my recorder, but the game seems to be very quiet right at the moment. I spent the last two videos wondering when we're going to confront the leader of the Straw Hat Ronin, and then went back and realized, because I acknowledged the possibility. Well, maybe we killed him and I just forgot about it. Yeah, we killed him and I just forgot about it. We killed him in Act 2. Let's Play Ghost of Tsushima Part 111, Killing in the Name. We took him out, and I just forgot about it because it was, I don't know, it felt pretty anticlimactic. I guess they wanted us to have a big event in Act 2 because the big event at the end of Act 1 was the betrayal itself. And then a big climactic event in Act 2 was us fighting him, and I just forgot about it because there was also stuff going on. I don't know. Lost track of all that, and I feel bad about it, I guess. But now, yeah, all we have to do is resolve this thing with our uncle, so I might not have a full video's worth of content here.
As father and son.
Okay, I'm having a really weird sound issue here. As father and son. Maybe this will resolve itself.
You can still...
Nope, it's messed up. Okay, hold on. Okay, the sound's back to normal. But we got to hear, unless I don't bother to edit it in, we got to hear in our uncle go like he was the Black Scorpion. Let's get back to the game. Jeez, that was weird.
Remarry. Start a new family.
Okay, now it's back to normal.
Yes. I suppose I can.
Yep. Start a new family, why don't you? Everything's peaceful and happy with us, right? Like, we're cool. There's no need to rush through this. Although I'm starting to lose patience, but the button I would normally press to rush the... Yeah, I'm confused. Okay, I've either forgotten how horse riding works, so I can't.
Use a push.
Here, let us help you.
Do not trouble yourselves, my lord.
Nonsense.
You can't do it alone.
This is not really how samurai usually acted with peasants.
You are much too kind. The mud is sicker than it looks.
Way too kind.
Where are you headed?
Jogaku. The ghost army is up there.
He has an army.
You
Yeah,
didn't
it's Ghost Army.
They'll sail for the Mongol steppes with a storm at their back. Burn their homes to the ground.
An impressive goal.
This is everything I can offer them. I hope it helps.
Then we will see you on your way.
After we murder you. And our uncle points out that our legend is being... Oh, it's, Are we gonna build a home for John Marston's family now in pointless minigames? Hey, that really made me feel like I'm playing a game and not watching a movie. Pressing X there.
Miles from here. Keep away from the mud. And the Mongols.
Stay away from the summoner.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Not here.
Follow me to the secret. You tell me about ghost stuff location. Horsey? Oh, there you are. Not Nobu anymore. What's going on? I forget what my new horse is called, but it's not Nobu. It's Shadowfax.
I don't have an army.
Every day, more people flock to your cause.
Well, some
The shogun
made-up
is
cause.
concerned. I am concerned.
You have nothing to fear.
I'm
When
the
new
shogun, by
clans
the way.
arrive, will people bow to their samurai? Or betray them in the name of the ghost?
Well,
I
when
won't
your
let
samurai
them do
start
that.
killing them, they...
They'll listen to
You
me.
openly defied me, Jin.
Uh-huh.
My most trusted warrior.
Yep.
You taught our people to disobey their leaders. What makes you think Your followers will obey you.
Well, I mean, they're not going to get killed by Mongols like your leadership would have led us to. You dick. You know what? I don't like the way you're talking to me right now. I'm going to get dressed up. Ah, it's not going to let me change it here. Oh, it'll let me become the White Angel Hakushi. So this is interesting. It'll let me change my colors of but that's all I can change. Gotcha. I'm trying to bring our people democracy many centuries ahead of schedule. He is really not happy with the fact that we did not decide to blindly charge into a failed suicide attack against the Mongol forces, and instead use strategy.
That's enough riding.
Okay.
Walk with me, Jin.
As you wish.
Then, when we've had enough walking, we'll swim. Then, we'll do some target practice. It's like the Norm Macdonald biathlon. Run a 100-yard dash and then fish.
My family cemetery.
The resting place of 7 generations of Sakai.
Of course, it'll have to be torn up and burned by the new clan.
And my father.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We must pay our respects.
Before I kill you. Okay, this would be the family plot here. Of course, you can't be buried here, Jin, because now you're a disowned piece of shit ninja. Blitzball sign of victory. Uncle, can you promise me that our ending will be more memorable than what happened to my friend who betrayed me? Because JG completely forgot about that. I mean, JG is an absent-minded, doddering old man, but I don't think he's the only one who could have forgotten about that.
I will miss this.
When I go to Mongolia with my ghost army.
The Shogun has declared you a traitor.
Okay. So I just have to kill him and become the new Shogun.
The ghost was an outlaw.
Like Josie Wales.
He taught our people to defy their leaders.
To defend themselves.
With poison.
Uh-huh.
A gift you gave to our enemy.
I had to stop you from throwing away our people's lives.
They're just peasants, Jin.
No honor.
And you are a slave to it.
Kinda, yeah. Well, let's fight here at your parents' grave.
You are my son.
Oh, you were going to adopt me.
Now I must continue the line of Shimura without you.
So let's get the ladies in here.
I must start a new family.
And my head is the cost.
Yep.
Taking it is my punishment.
But you're not going to get to do that. I wonder if we get the option to commit
Final day together.
seppuku. That would be the samurai thing for him to do, but if he's
It
been
is beautiful.
branded an outlaw. But that doesn't really lead to a DLC.
It's time.
This is
The last words.
the
of
death
Clan
cone.
Sakai and Clan Shimura.
So if Lord Shimura doesn't have any sons, and we kill him, and Clan Sakai has been, faced discommentation by the Klingon High Council or whatever, then... So they're both writing death poems before they duel, just in case? Well, this kind of sucks, doesn't it? Oh, do we actually do this? Reflect on loss. Yeah, we're playing the poetry minigame one more time. Hands that shape the world. Butt that is... Oh, strengthen every step. That's his feet, not his butt. Eyes that saw my pain. Now I'll cut them out, because I'm a jerk. Let's go with the... I'm tempted to go with the butt here. Powerful buttocks. A fate neither of us want. Destiny divides our souls. Bond broken forever. I don't think either of us want this. Will death redeem us? A fight without hope. This is where we part. Yeah, I guess that would be true. I don't see any resolution for this where we hang out in our buddies afterwards.
In every step.
His butt, magnificent.
A fate neither of us want.
What if you can throw the duel for a different ending?
This is where we part.
Everything made sense except the first line, which doesn't seem to connect with the others. And he sneak attacks us while we're finishing our poem. He is without honor.
Your parents will always be with you.
Yes, Uncle.
Unless you forget them, because that's the only way they're with you, your memories. Sorry.
I will train you to become the strongest warrior Clan Sakai has ever known.
Then to betray us all and horribly disappoint me.
I will raise you as my own son. Are you ready?
This is definitely more memorable than the ending of the Straw Hat guy.
I am ready.
Ready as I'll ever be. I have, after all, fully leveled up my sword. Sorry. Shouldn't be Let's Playing late. Dramatic moments are interrupted by yawns. It's a very pretty game. Yeah, we're seriously gonna actually fight in the graveyard. It's a coffin match. Jin Sakai, the Ghost, versus the Undertaker.
I can't fear the Shogun.
I did hit the button I meant to there. No, they won't.
We will only make them worse. Let me go in peace. You want revenge?
Mm-hmm.
Failure.
At least I don't have a full ghost meter.
It is my punishment.
You can't beat the ghost, you son of a bitch. I'm too damn good, except I'm about to lose. Okay, just barely won legit, which is probably just as well. The most dramatic duel since the opening cinematic of Ninja Gaiden. Or was that the, like, you know, before you press start cinematic in Ninja Gaiden? Well, you were better than the Straw Hat guys. If that's any consolation to you.
Honor me with a warrior's death.
Ooh. Honor his wish for death. Let him live and walk away. Oh, man. Ooh, this is a tough one. Alright, let's think about this for a second. I hate to overanalyze it, but if we walk away, we'll get probably a final speech from him. But it's not going to be happy. In theory, he could go back and pretend the duel never happened, that we escaped. And he can start and, like, you know, he'd have to lie to preserve the honor, though. Because if it was known that he'd lost in this duel with us and that we spared him, he would be totally dishonored. Hey, check it out. There's a undiscovered location floating around up here. She's like, no, I must let you live. I'll come back after I've explored undiscovered location. Because I mean, I guess the question is, has Jin completely abandoned what he was raised to believe as a samurai? And he has kind of decided that he's not following it himself, but he knows that his uncle still believes in it, and he really can't spare his uncle without just completely dishonoring his uncle and, you know, basically shaming an old man forever. Problem is, yeah, as far as I know, the whole point is that neither of their clans, the Sakai or Shimura, have another. He was going to adopt Jin Sakai to be Jin Shimura and continue the clan, but and he's not. Yeah, Jin Shimura. It's not like Jim Shimoda. We're not talking about a guy who's, you know, got like drunk from space disease and was playing around with like parts of the reactor core or whatever happened in the episode of Next Generation that created the drunk Shimoda thing in the Next Generation podcast, or the Greatest Generation podcast, like one of my favorite podcasts. Yeah, sorry. What was I getting at here? We don't believe in the samurai stuff anymore, but our uncle does. And I feel like sparing him at this point would either be Jin just being weak and not being able to go through with it. Because I can't see him doing it just to be a complete ass to his... because, like, I had real problems with the way his uncle was behaving, but, like, these last scenes of them together, like, his motivations are a lot clearer to me now. I understand what's happening, and I'm not angry at our uncle character. But I do feel like, to Jin, it's like, I shouldn't have to go through with this, but it's not about what it means to Jin, it's about what it means to his uncle. So, I will, myself, after this video is over, I will go check and see what what cinematic plays out if you spare your uncle. But I'm going to choose to kill him because Jin has killed a lot of people, including friends, so he's not squeamish about this. But it does seem like you can't spare your uncle without just really insulting everything that he stands for. So I think we gotta kill him. Oh, it makes you press and hold it. Whoop. 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 Snake, you're a wonderful man. Kill me.
I will make sure you are remembered as a great warrior, a wise leader, and a father.
Of a really bad son.
Thank you, son.
Oh, jeez.
Find me in the next life.
This time I'll kick your ass when we duel. Yeah, the rumble pack is going crazy on this controller. That's pretty tough. Not really a happy ending for Jin. I'll be curious if the game presents the other choice as being somehow the Paragon path, but I feel like the game was not giving us a happy ending. And that felt a little more meaningful than red explosions, blue explosions, green explosions, frankly. Sucker punch to the feels. I suppose I should have anticipated that this would be the end. And yet I kind of didn't prepare final thoughts. The thing I'm most ashamed of is that, because I think it was a really good story, and I would be paying compliments of the story, but I spent the last 2 videos wondering when we were going to deal with the leader of the Straw Hat Ronin and forgetting it happened. So that might be a testament to the fact that I think this game is kind of trying to have it both ways a bit. And what I mean by that is, it's RDR2, which is, you know, people have made the case that it's the greatest game that's ever been made, but video game that's ever been made, but they both run into the problem. They're trying to have a really strong narrative, but they're also trying to be really expansive games, which means, in a sense, that the player controls the pace of the story, in a sense, which makes it really tough. Like, pacing is very important to telling a dramatic, engaging story. So you can blame me or you can blame the medium, but I feel like this would probably have been a more, like, if I had just played the main story missions and maybe only the side missions that were attached to those characters, like, you know, Lord Ishikawa, I keep liking her name, Misako. Like, if we'd only played their stories and no other side stories, and the main story, and had done nothing as far as, like, you know, fox dens, and taking Mongol camps, and getting the legendary armors, and just... Oh, we can press X to skip the credits. That seems a bit rude, though. Look at all these non-Japanese names. I wanted to mention on the side, this is an American game, which has won awards in Japan, which don't happen that often, frankly. It was obviously... The creative forces behind it were obviously huge, what would be the correct term? Japophiles? There's Anglophiles and Francophiles. I don't know if Nippophiles or Japophiles... Like, I'm trying to think of what would be the term that wouldn't come across as being racist. But anyway, what I was saying a minute ago, though, was... Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to do story in video games, because you either have a video game where the player doesn't feel like they have a lot of freedom, or you have a thing where someone like me is enjoying the game world, so they just, like, lounge around for too long, and it makes it tough for the story to be impactful. And, like, everything about the presentation of this game is really beautiful. The voice acting, like, they had, pretty sure, I wasn't paying too much attention, I'm pretty sure the entire voice cast in English was people of Asian descent, which is kind of a thing you have to do now, to avoid getting in trouble. But, no, characters had Japanese accents that were neither, like me doing this over-the-top Santucci voice, because Santucci voice I do, it's not a particularly good Italian accent, let's be honest. But, like, they were neither exaggerated, nor were they afraid to make them sound like actual Japanese characters. Which is that's why you have to get Japanese or voice actors of Asian descent, because a non-Asian voice actor can do a convincing Asian voice, because that's they're voice actors, they're talented, they can play different characters, but it comes across as parodying the way that members of an ethnic group speak. If you're not super careful, I'm going off Ghost of Tsushima babies. Oh, that's cute. It's a whole thing I didn't mean to go off on. Archer Lord is the name of your baby. It's a whole thing I didn't mean to go off on. In the Battle of Tsushima. Sorry, what I was trying to get at, though, is that, yeah, I messed up the story by spending too long doing the side content. But they put all the side content there. It's the impossible puzzle of how do you make a truly great story-driven game now. Because the closest we found are mostly games from Rockstar Studios, all of which you come out feeling that they were incredibly bloated and overstuffed when it's done. I guess part of the problem is I like to play AAA big money release titles. I'm not somebody who spends a lot of time playing indie games. Maybe indie games have cracked the puzzle because there's not a lot of movies. You know, everyone made fun of The Irishman for being too long. That movie was like 3 hours plus long. A video game that only takes you 3 hours to beat, people are going to complain about. So a video game that's supposed to have a really compelling story has this trick. Like, how do you not overstay your welcome? And have a guy like JG making silly jokes about shit all the time. And yet still have enough content that people felt like it was worth playing. So I'll make fun of stuff like, oh, press the X button to push the cart. Like, I made a lot of just kind of, I think from a place of love, taunting this game for gameplay elements that were just like, yeah, you guys wanted to make a movie, but you made a game, so here's the mini game where it's really a story scene, but you're giving us like 2 or 3 buttons to press to make us feel engaged as players. But in fact, they were basically telling a really, I think, pretty good and compelling story, which was not perfect, but overall it was good. It made sense. Like, there was nothing in it that like strongly conflicted with what I know about the samurai. Like the stuff he was doing, sneaking around, killing people from the shadows, makes absolute perfect sense in a video game. Not how a samurai would fight. And like, as they got down the road of like, oh, he's being driven apart from his uncle, and his uncle doesn't approve what he's doing, I was kind of thinking, this is getting a bit hacky. Yeah, I mean, we get that he's doing what he has to do to win. We get that. The samurai were certainly willing to bend their code of honor as it suited them. The most successful samurai clans were ones that had found, the pretense of honor as a motive behind things that were totally self-serving, blah, blah, blah. And I was ready to come down to the story, but then there's a couple of points they made here at the end that just really... This last video and those last couple of scenes really saved the uncle character for me. Because the Shogun had branded Jin a traitor. Because Jin had led... And they didn't hit... Like, as I'm thinking back, yes, they planted these seeds, and I guess I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy making jokes and clearing fox dens, but there was this underlying theme where, like, yeah, he was getting the peasants to help. It was a peasant rebellion, and I think they were trying to be careful not to be insulting towards Japanese history, but Japanese history is not a history of a peasant class that was empowered. That's not what Japanese history is mostly about. Japanese history was about a noble warrior class and peasants who had like 0 rights. Most of European history was like that too, I mean, to be honest, but like in Japan it lasted a bit longer, and it's been romanticized in a different way. So without like making, like, we're going to make a like modern 21st century moralistic point about Japanese society, they got to the point, which was he had led a peasant rebellion fighting the Mongols and had disregarded the samurai code. And more importantly, as far as like his uncle's hands were tied, because his uncle still loved him, but he had been branded a traitor by the Shogun, which means the uncle now... If this was a novel instead of a video game, there would be more characters representing more sides of that conflict. Like, maybe there would be... There might be like a cousin character who died along the course of the story. Or something like that, where like Lord Shimura, it's like he doesn't have, it's like weird, well, why doesn't he have any sons? I guess his sons died fighting the Mongols, if he had sons, but I don't think I was quite paying enough attention, or they quite hit it hard enough for a Western audience to get what was happening when his uncle adopting him was going to continue the clan. Because otherwise he was an older man who we never saw that he had a wife or anything. Like, it was implied that he'd had a family earlier in life, but his he and his brother had different had different names. That's a thing that happens in samurai culture because people are adopted. There are families that are related. Blah blah. But like circumstances in the Mongol invasion had gotten it to where he was going to continue his clan line by adopting his nephew to be his son and be the new lord of Shimura, which was apparently a higher ranked clan than Sakai. And that was all fucked up by what Jin did. Like, some of this stuff wasn't coming across. Like, you had to be paying attention, and I was like joking around too much.